Welcome back to another very practical running shoe review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Hoka Mach 6. And let me preface this by saying this isn't the newest shoe. This isn't going to be the most high-end specific detail shoe review. Purely this is going to be based on my experience having run nearly 400 miles on this shoe now. Talk about the upper first. It's nice and breathable, pretty comfortable. UK size 10, which is true to size for me. Usually I would find a Hoka slightly narrow in the toe box over longer distances. I haven't had the problem with this one. I think that's probably because it's kind of quite flexible. So we'll take that as a win. A decently friendly upper. Do I like this awesome flick on the back? Doesn't make too much difference for me, but a really comfortable shoe. And I would show you the inside, but there's been no breakdown of anything on the heel or the insides are holding together really well. And again, let me preface this, I've done nearly 400 miles in this shoe, which is pretty good going. Importantly, let's look at the sole and we will talk a little bit about, the reaction and are we close to the floor and the ground feel and the springiness and all that good stuff. But I just want to show you the sole of this shoe and hopefully it focuses on the camera. Now, there's a hair attached to that, which is a bit gross, but whatever, besides the point. The sole of this shoe and the lugs and all those things has held up the best I've ever experienced in a Hoka for me. Now, I've worn this on light trails, roads, grass, some slightly, more extreme terrains. And yes, it is worn down in the soft foam, as you can see here, but this nicer, harder bit on the sides, this slightly elevated, slightly raised thing, it's really close to when it started. And for a Hoka, that goes a long way. I also don't have unlimited money to buy shoe after shoe after shoe. So I'll be honest with you, I'm always looking for a good deal and I'm always looking for that shoe to go a long way. And honestly, I feel like this shoe is going to keep going and going and going. And again, like I said, that says something for Hokas because for me in the past, they haven't been very good durability wise, which is a shame. Excellent shoes, but I've just found after a few hundred miles, they lose the feeling to them, they lose the grip to them, and that just hasn't been the case for the Hoka Mach 6. The other benefit of this shoe being slightly older, now if you're looking at it, is it might not be the most up-to-date model, it might be not the newest, fastest thing that you can see on the market, but they tend to always be on offer. I got these for £70, whatever it was, in March. So if you keep your eye out for deals, you might have to get some all-white ones like me, which, depending on who you are, is either good or bad. But to be honest with you, in terms of the durability, and in terms of how the uppers held up, in terms of how the soles have held up, it's awesome. How does it feel on the ground? Is it responsive? Is it fast? What efforts is it good for? Again, like I've said, when I buy a shoe, I want to use it for all of my running because I don't want to have a speed shoe, a tempo shoe, a trail shoe, yada, 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 because very quickly you add up to £500, £600 worth of shoes, which in my opinion is crazy. Unless you are competing at a high level, one pair of shoes, maybe a trail shoe alongside it, should do you for a while. Now, this does fast well, this does medium pace well, this does tempo well, and it does slow well. And I know this sounds very much like this is the best shoe of all time. Maybe I just get along with shoes well, but really I've had no problem working at any pace with this. And I think for lots of us, when we're beginner runners, we look to a shoe that says tempo, speed work, long runs, and we think it's going to make those things easier. And I just want to say that obviously I don't believe in that because however many years ago, people were running barefoot in really basic shoes and lo and behold, they could go fast, they could go slow, and they could go medium. So really, when you're looking at a shoe and a shoe that can do it all, get a shoe that can do it all, because to be honest with you, so few of us, myself included, at the fitness level and the capacity to be really concerned about that tiny, minute detail of, does my shoe have a carbon plate? Is it going to make me go faster? Yada, yada, yada. Really needs to be thinking is, do I need more support? What shape is my foot? And will this work with me? And with that in mind, what I will say is a drawback of this shoe, you can see, I've worn this on trails and things and it's fine. Until literally a week ago, I was going to come and make this video and I was going to say, I've never tripped over, I've never rolled my ankle, until I did. It doesn't have that much support. If you're someone who needs a lot of support and you're spending lots of time on trails and more technical things, please get a shoe which has a bit more support up here because, to be honest with you, this is flimsy and you'll fall over. To preface this, I've run fast 5Ks in these, or fast for me 5Ks in this. I've run my longer tempo sessions in these, and I've run 20 plus miles in these, no problems. Another thing I think lots of people come across is hot spots in their feet. Part of that is to do with the sizing of your shoe. You know, is my shoe too small? Is it too big? Is it rubbing in certain areas? Do I feel a lot of warmth? I've had no problem with hot spots in these shoes. Partly to do with the mesh, upper mesh being good, and also over time, obviously all shoes mold to your feet, but the upper of this one really seemed to mold well to my foot shape, and it's kind of become more comfortable over time. This tongue is incredibly thin. Now, if you're someone who struggles with rubbing on the top of your foot and things, unless you get the lace down to this right, this could be a problem for you. I've never struggled particularly with any rubbing on the top of my foot, but that tongue, that's basically not a tongue. This is like if you played football back in the day, the Predators, the football shoe that you could fold the tongue over like this. That's what this is like. It's incredibly thin. Again, laces are fine, lockdown's fine, upper is fine, tongue's a bit small, flick's a bit weird, upper's great, sole's lasted amazingly well, and it's very durable, which for me is number one thing when I'm buying a shoe. Will it last? But let's go for a run and see what we have to say. Excellent shoe. Weak legs, burny lungs, but the shoes are holding me true. One more set to go. Okay, hopefully it's not way too windy for you, because it is pretty windy up here. Just finishing up a hill session, up and down the hill, so if I'm a bit out of breath and it's a bit windy, that's because we're kind of high up now. But the Hoka, whilst it is a road shoe, is marketed as a road shoe, and it is a really good road shoe in my opinion. I actually do maybe 75-80% of my running on grassy, soft trail, slightly dirty, classic footpath through the woods in England type terrain. And I think in the right conditions, when it's kind of dry, it's not too wet, it's not too sloppy, road running shoes are often a very good option for running trails, as long as they've got enough support. But the Hokas for me, like I said, I've probably done about 300 miles on this type of stuff, and I haven't fallen over yet. And I'm sure some of that's to do with technique, running ability and things, but really I think if you're looking for a shoe that can do it all in the drier weathers, the Hoka will do you well, the Mach will do you well. So, who are the Hoka Mach 6s for? I think simply put, the Hoka Machs are for people who want to do plenty of miles, plenty of daily running, or lots of daily running I should say, pardon my English, but also people who want a little bit of more click, a bit more push off the ground, a bit more speed in their day-to-day work. They are a fantastic, at least for me, a fantastic shoe that has done it all for me. I'm happy with it on the slow efforts, I'm happy with it on the medium efforts, and I'm happy with it on the hard efforts. It's a great all-round shoe for me. And who are they not for? Maybe someone with a bit more of a plush need, a bit more support, a bit more stability. But to be honest, they're a shoe that's worth giving a go, whoever you are. Okay, so on the move section done of the video. Just want to thank you all for watching here, and again I want to preface this is a very practical approach to shoe reviewing, hence why I don't have one every week. I can't afford to buy a shoe every week and review a shoe every week, but when I do, I like to put some real miles in it and give you a truthful and honest review of the shoe. But overall, if you're looking for a good all-round shoe that is very often on a discount, which for me has good durability, and I want to preface one thing about the durability before we go: practice your running technique, practice being light on your feet, and your shoes will last longer as well. So that's kind of a side point. If you're finding you're going through your shoes a lot and you're finding that you're just ripping through the lugs, the sole's getting destroyed, or you're ripping through the upper a lot, look at your technique, look at your style of running, and also look at the shoes that you've been buying historically that have been breaking down quickly. Maybe you need something a bit more robust. And I'm never going to say the Hokas are, the most durable shoes, because they're not. I've worn lots of other brands which are more durable and will go for thousands of miles. But overall, I'm more than happy to say that this shoe is probably going to keep me going for another 200, 300, 400 miles. And I've got no problems with saying that. So if you're looking for a decent shoe at often a decent price, go give the Hoka Mach 6 a go and let me know your experience in the comments.